Hey, it's Renee here from Sweet Pea Labs, showing you a video preview of what you get with the Photosynthesis Digital Interactive Notebook. When you get this, you will have two files that you receive that will be one set of teacher slides, which you can see here, and then one set of student slides, which you can see here. The student and teacher slides are very similar, except for in the teacher slides, I've included a few extras. So you'll have things like answer keys, additional videos, things like that. So I'll go through the teacher set and show you the differences as we go along. Here we start out always with a cover page. We're talking about photosynthesis. You have the basics here of photosynthesis on the front. I've got some teacher tips and tricks here talking about how you can easily share this through Google Classroom if you're using that, especially with distance learning. And you can make a copy for each student so that they can turn in their individual notebooks when they're finished. I'm talking about also that you can use your teacher set of slides as additional clarification for students if needed. And then I've included a Google Slides tips page as well. I also ask you to prompt students to look for the crosshairs when moving objects on the screen, just so that they don't resize things, but I take care of that as well in the student copy. Here's the video I'm talking about that I've included for you. This is an optional video for you to show your students if you'd like. It's a tutorial on how to use Google Slides with digital interactive notebooks. So if you've used one of my notebooks before, you probably don't need this. This is kind of a one-time thing. I've only included it in the teacher copy, but you can copy that slide and put it in the student copy if you'd like them to watch that. It is about 17 minutes long, and it goes through all of the tips and tools in Google Slides for the students that they'll probably have to use in the digital interactive notebook. This is the welcome page that I've included for the students, just welcoming them to their interactive digital notebook, and talking a little bit about how the notebook works, what they might see in the notebook, and that they can go back and use their Google Slides tips sheet if they need to. Here's an example of the tips sheet. So this is included for students to reference. It is already in the student copy as well. So you can see here all of the different tools that they may use at times during the interactive notebook. So I start out here explaining photosynthesis by relating it how we get food. When we get hungry, we go get something to eat. When a plant gets hungry, it makes its own food. So that's really important for students to know. It's important for them to know that photosynthesis is taking place in the leaves, and that it's the process to make their own food. Three things that are needed during photosynthesis or for photosynthesis to occur. So you've got sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide from the air. Then we're talking about sort of the parts of the plant and their functions in photosynthesis. So water gets absorbed by the plant from the roots. Again, I'm keeping this very simple. It can be much more complex than that as you get older, but this is meant for elementary grades. So photosynthesis here, talking about carbon dioxide getting absorbed by the plant and the leaves. I didn't go into the major cells that are involved in that as well, just keeping the process very simple for the students. Here we can see inside the leaf, we've got the carbon dioxide that's been absorbed by the leaves. We've got the water that's been absorbed by the roots. And then sunlight is being absorbed by special cells in the leaves. And now the plant is ready to make its own food. Here you can see as all of those are combined, sugar is created, which is the food for the plant. And then also as this happens and the sugar is created, the leaves give off oxygen for us to breathe. Kind of emphasizing how that's important or why the oxygen is important. Talking about plants and photosynthesis helping give us fresh air for our planet. And this is a good segue into like a project-based learning thing, talking about maybe deforestation or even for Earth Day, relating photosynthesis and plants to why it's important to have so many plants on our Earth. Here's where the interactive part comes in. So on the student version, let me get down to the student version here. They will see the same thing as you do on the teacher version, but they are asked to drag the pictures and words to the correct places. So obviously these can go in different boxes, but basically you want the sunlight, the water, the carbon dioxide to make the sugar, the food, and the oxygen. And then these are movable. And that's a good assessment. So on the teacher assessment, I have the answer key right here. So you can take a quick visual look. There are your answers. Back to the student copy, they are asked to arrange some of the pictures to show how photosynthesis works. They can change these images, use these images. You can see that they can scroll at the bottom here because I've included all of the images that I've already used and some additional ones too, just to give them options of things to do. But I say here that they can use their own text, and then they can type the explanation of how photosynthesis works here. Right, so this is where it would be important for students to understand like how to turn an arrow, things like that. And that's all in that tutorial or on the Google Slides tips and tricks sheet that's included. That's another assessment that you can use as a teacher. I don't have an answer key for this particular one because this is a place where they can create and show their learning and show their understanding. And so obviously this is going to be different for each student. And a little the end, you are now a photosynthesis expert. All right, so this notebook is also part of my Parts of a Plant interactive digital notebook as well. So you can check that out too. All right, enjoy.